went through and 2 more sales. I was like, this is a bit quicker than I thought it would be. And I think I spent £17,000 on Google Ads, and I got a return on ad spend of £70,000. Welcome. So today we're going to be talking about how long it actually takes to get to £30,000 in e-commerce sales. Bit about me. In my first year, I did £30,000 in the first year. So it's very doable, and I think you can actually do it even quicker than that. For me, I did it in my spare time. So there's a bit of a barometer. The real answer is, though, it massively depends on your strategy, how much time you're investing in it, your experience. And I'd probably say experience is actually the biggest lever involved. So I initially started drop shipping. I built an e-commerce store as a retailer in the home and garden space, and I started off using Facebook ads. And I started with only one product, selling lampshades. So I did a bunch of Facebook ads and saw which one worked out better. And I actually managed to make a bit of profit with it. But the problem that I had was over Christmas, I was going, I can sell a few more of these. It's going reasonably well. So I ramped up the ads a little bit more. And then the supplier turned around and said, we don't have, we've run out of your product. I'm going, oh, crap, right. So I then decided, right, I'm going to stop drop shipping, and instead I'm going to stock items in my own warehouse. But at the time, I was only dipping my toes in, so I didn't actually have a warehouse. I went, I'm going to put it in my side bedroom. Now, beyond that, I actually moved out to the summer house, and I had it's actually this room you probably won't be able to see, but there's a couple of shelves over there, and there was indeed shelves all the way around this room at that point in time. So I went and bought a few different products. I started off buying around 5 different SKUs, 5 different items, and I eventually had around 50 to 100 different SKUs, different product lines that I was selling. I started off going straight to AliExpress. For those that don't know, AliExpress is like the Amazon in China. And I bought 5 different products off that. And I started continuing doing more Facebook ads. Then I thought, right, okay, I'll buy a few different types of products. These are all generally like unbranded products at this point in time. And it was going okay. I was getting a few sales, but I wasn't really making any money. So then, this is all within a year, by the way. It's all within a year. Then I started going and buying some branded products. I won't tell you which brands I bought, but things heated up very, very quickly because I also started selling on eBay. And selling branded products on eBay, it works out very quickly. But the main problem that you'll find is that generally brands won't like you selling their product in a marketplace, and a marketplace being either Amazon or eBay. So then I thought to myself, right, well, I don't really want to go down this route. I don't want to go down as an eBay seller. I want to build a brand. And the best way for me to do that was getting sales through my website. To do this, I started experimenting with a bunch of different types of things. I didn't have loads of knowledge, so I dipped my toes into Google Ads. And before I knew it, I had a sale. I'd spent about 20 quid and I had a sale straight away. I was like, oh, that's all right. And then, another 20 quid went through and 2 more sales. I was like, this is a bit quicker than I thought it would be. And overall, I think I spent £17,000 on Google Ads, and I got a return on ad spend, a ROAS, of £70,000. And the impact was actually a lot further than that because I was able to get repeat orders and do email flows and abandoned cart emails and stuff like that. So Google Ads really kind of drove it home for me. But the main reason is that I was a retailer, essentially. I was generally entering at the bottom of the marketing funnel. So the marketing funnel, for those that don't know, there's your funnel. And at the top, people get an awareness of your product or your brand. Then they go down the funnel and they get a bit of interest, and then they get ready to purchase, and then they actually make a purchase. And all the way through that funnel, people can fall out left, right, and center. So as Google Ads, you're generally entering where people are ready to buy that product and they just want it for the best price or a decent price. So as a new startup, when in the UK, if your turnover is below £85,000, you don't have to VAT register. You've got a bit of an advantage, and you can go and sell them for a bit cheaper. Also for me, since I was fulfilling the products and I only was dipping my toes in, I wasn't really going to pay myself a fulfillment fee. So my profit was essentially the fulfillment fee. So a bit more of an explanation to that. If you're using a warehouse and you're paying people to go and fulfill your items for you, it costs money. But if you're fulfilling the items yourself, that doesn't cost any money, and you can feel like that's profit instead. So if I wanted to recreate what I did, the first thing I'd do is go and set up a Shopify store. I'd then go and contact a bunch of different brands and go and try and buy some products, and I'd just store it in my side room. That's a very, very easy way, an easy route to get in. I'd then go and start using Klaviyo to create some email flows, because email flows do actually drive a decent amount of spending, especially the main ones being your abandoned cart email, your welcome series email, and your post-purchase follow-up email flow series. So I'd go straight away and I'd build those flows out. With my abandoned cart one, I think I had 3 emails, one going out about an hour after someone had abandoned the cart, another one going out, say, 12 hours, and then another one 24 hours after that. Those last emails do actually add a little bit to your abandoned cart series flow. So those work out really, really well and are quite a big driver. Welcome series as well. That's a great driver. I did a 10% discount and it did work. I did get more sales. The main benefit is that you get a bunch of emails on the back of it as well. So, you get an email catcher. So if someone doesn't make a purchase, even though you're giving them a bit of a discount, you can then go and get in touch with that person and send them a bunch of emails to try and get them to make a conversion. And actually the value of having an email can be a lot high. The lifetime value of having that email can be a lot higher than you actually think. You might think, oh, well, it's very unlikely they're going to make a purchase. But especially when you start sending a few emails, you're like, hold on, they're not really making any purchases here. But when you actually run the numbers, it's all about sending the volume of emails over quite a period of time. So emails can actually be a pretty big driver for you. In terms of what I would be doing for Google Ads, I'd start spending around £10 to £20 on Google Ads each day. And the specific campaign that I was using was the Performance Max campaign. So you go and set it up, and you'll set up Google Merchant Center and integrate that with Shopify using the Google app. And beyond that, the Performance Max campaign, I actually did it with no assets except a logo. Assets being like the creatives and what you typically think of kind of the ads. All I had was the logo and a bunch of products integrated through Google Merchant Center and Shopify's Google app. If you download the Google app, by the way, the Shopify Google app, it should kind of guide you through the whole process of setting up Merchant Center and eventually getting your products. And then all you do is you go into AdWords and create your Performance Max campaign. So one thing you might be thinking about is, should you bootstrap or should you use private equity? So bootstrapping is where you're doing it yourself. You're not getting help from other people, and you're going to put a bit of your own money in and you're going to try and spin it up that way. Whereas private equity or venture capital would be, you go and speak to a venture capital firm and they'd give you maybe 50 grand, 100 grand, or potentially a lot more as in a seed round, and trying to get some money that way. Now, the reason why I bootstrapped as opposed to trying to raise some capital is I realized it was probably going to take around between 3 and 12 months to raise some money anyway. So even if I got lucky and got in touch with an angel investor, the first day, and say someone goes, oh yeah, I'll give you 50 grand. The reality is it might take a few months speaking to accountants and getting it through to actually go and get that 50 grand in your bank and have your limited company set up with that. And I'm a chartered accountant, by the way, and director in accountancy practice, so I know things can take a bit longer than you think. But regardless of that, to actually go and find people willing to go and invest in you and get maybe 20% of the business for 50k or a fair amount more, you can be going around and spending a long time trying to raise that money. Whereas for me, I felt I wanted to actually just go and do it because I had enough bits of cash lying around to go and have a decent attempt at making some sales. So for me, I went Bootstrap, but everyone's different, and there are definitely advantages different ways. If you're able to raise capital, I'd probably suggest that you just go and raise capital, because you don't really know the value of your startup. But if someone's giving you like 100k for 20%, well, you're essentially selling 20% of your business, and the business is worth 500k at that point in time. So yeah, selling up immediately can be advantageous, unless you are a bit more of an entrepreneur and you know what you're doing a lot more, and you've got a lot more kind of reserves and capital behind you, in which case you might go, well, I'm not really interested in a small win. I want a much bigger win. So it depends on circumstance anyway. Now, one thing I might want to think of is, what would I have done differently if I had to do it all over again? I'd actually focus on SEO as opposed to Google Ads. The reason being is that generally the value in making a sale, you don't really make any money on your first sale in Google Ads. You will generally break even, because you're competing and bidding against other retailers and other sellers. So you don't really make any money on your first purchase, and you make all the money on the lifetime value of the customer by making repeat purchases. But because you're entering the marketing funnel at the bottom of the funnel when customers are ready to purchase, they haven't really experienced much about your brand. They haven't really built a relationship with your brand. So you actually have to send a bunch of emails on the back to go and make that lifetime value a reality. But with SEO, the return on how much you spend in terms of getting the purchase is significantly higher. So, and also it's built up off you. You can do it all yourself. You can do all the SEO, and you don't really need to pay anyone. So if you're bootstrapping, SEO can be a lot better. The other reason is that you're essentially just ranking and getting a sale straight away. You're not having to pay anyone. Your margins are essentially much bigger. So you're making money on your first sale as opposed to on repeat sales. Now, I hope that provided some value to you. And if it did, go and subscribe to a newsletter. And have a great day. Cheers. Bye.